Good day, everyone. My name is Divitra Nagalingam, and my group members are Varshini Jagarajan and Nagasubhashini Sambasivan. Today, we are here to present about our project 2 on system analysis and design costs. In our previous presentation video, we have presented about our project 1. This video is continuation of this project. Without wasting time, let's move into the video. What is system analysis? It is a process of collecting and interpreting facts, identifying the problems, and decomposition of a system into its components. System analysis is conducted for the purpose of studying a system or its parts in order to identify its objective. It is a problem solving technique that improves the system and ensures that all the components of the system work effectively to accomplish their purpose. Analysis specifics what the system should do. There are two types of system analysis. First is functional requirement, and the second one is non-functional requirement. Functional requirement. What is functional requirement? Functional requirements define the basic system behavior. Intentional, they are what this system does or must not do and can be thought of in terms of how these systems respond to inputs. Functional requirements usually define if or then behavior and include calculation, data input, and process and business processes. Functional requirements are features that allows this system to function as it was intended. Put other way, if the functional requirements are not met, this system will not work. Functional requirements are product features and focus on the user requirements. Functional requirements that our system provides. First is security model to ensure that only each authorized individual can make any changes and transactions according to the level that can be achieved. Second, the reserving calendar model is used to enter and maintain lectures and staff reserving on the room and laboratory. The room and lab reserving model is used to assign rooms to lecturers and staff who reserve on the date. This module involves reserving, checking, cancel booking, and finding information. The user information model is used to change any user information in this system directly. This model is not a routine use as users' information is updated automatically by reserving and room or laboratory registration. This model provides a method of displaying all stored user information. The fifth one is this system must be able to enroll new users successfully. 6. Automatic update to database once reservation is made on new customer register. Whenever there is new reservation or new registration, this system should be updated and the database without any additional effort for the admin. This system must permit lecturers to reserve for personal classes. This system must allow user to provide feedback and administrator to review the feedback. Next, non-functional requirement. What is non-functional requirement means? Non-functional requirements do not affect the basic functionality of this system, hence the name non-functional requirements. Even if the non-functional requirements are not met, this system will still perform its basic purpose. If a system will still perform without meeting the non-functional requirement, why are they important? The answer is usability. Non-functional requirement define system behavior features and general characteristics that affect the user experience. How well non-functional requirements are defined and executed determines how easy the system is to use and is used to judge system performance. Non-functional requirements are product properties and focus on user expectation. Non-functional requirements that our system provides is first, security. The proposed system provides a high level of security and integrity. Admin can register user password to ensure the level of information security so that it is not easily compromised by changing it once a month. This system should avoid a this system should avoid and reduce data redundancy. Second, performance. This system should have high performance rates when executing. The reserving calendar module displays a monthly calendar showing the booking status for each month. Each room and has its own booking calendar respectively. This system should not crash under under heavy load. Third, payment is handled by another division. In other words, this system does not involve account management. This system will only automatically deduct 10% from PEO Department of Technology Information and Communications to the semester fee RM 20 ringgit per month as a benefit analysis for the payback period. The fourth one is error handling. Error should be considerably minimized and an appropriate error message that guides the user to recover from an error should be provided. Validation of users' input is highly intentional. Also, the standard time taken to recover from an error should be 15 to 20 seconds. Availability. This system should always be available for access at 24 hours, 5 working days a week. Also, in the occurrence of any major system multifunctioning, this system should be available in 1 to 2 working days, so that the business process is not severely affected. The sixth is the system should have a great user interface and user involvement. Lastly, this system should notify user about the changes in the schedules and etc. Next, design diagram. The information obtained from this study was used to construct one appropriate data models for the PEO online lab and room reservation system for Department of Technology, Information and Communication. In this data design, there are three data models formed, namely the Relationship Entity Model ERD, Context Diagram, and Level 0 DFD. The first one is Entity Relationship Diagram. ERD. The Entity Relationship Diagram ERD model for the PEO online lab and room reservation system for Department of Technology, Information and Communication is shown in the figure above. This diagram describes the relationship between data objects. Data objects are also known as entities. This diagram shows the relationship between the user, with who is PEO lecturers and staff, and the administrator who manage reserving room and laboratory involved in the system environment. Each attribute owned by an entity is a field in the database. Next, context diagram. Context diagram. Figure represents the highest level for the PEO online lab and room reservation system for the Department of Technology, Information and Communication. This diagram is called a context diagram because it is represent the system in a context environment. The entire online system is represented in an entity in the middle. The environment of its elements, its users and administrator are represented in the horizontal rectangle and connected to the system using arrows known as data flows. Data flow for the user involves user data, booking confirmation, login data, login verification, requests, feedback, and information from the system. Data flow from the administrator consists of data, requests, and data logins. The next one is level 0 DFD. Level 0 DFD. This is the figure of level 0 DFD diagram for the PEO online lab and room reservation system for the Department of Technology, Information and Communication. Context diagrams are used to indicate the boundaries of the system environment as well as the system interface. To better understand the PEO online lab and room reservation system for Department of Technology, Information and Communication, it is necessary to know the subsystem. In DFD terminology, it is called a level 0 diagram documented into a more detailed form. It is designed to be an abstraction view showing the system as a single process with the relationship to the external entities. It represents the entire system as a single bubble with input and output data indicated by incoming and outgoing arrows. Next, my group member Nagasubhashini will continue on.
Thank you, Jivitra Nagalingam. Next is interface design. 3.1 Front screen display. Figure 3.1.1 is the first screen that users will see when using the PEO lab and room reservation system online. This screen displays the main menus, namely the registration, reservation, information, contact us, and administration menus. Users of either external entities or internal entities need to display the menu they want to explore. Below are the figure 3.1.1 front page interface display main menu. 3.2 is registration menu display screen. In this field, users need to enter the details of users who are new to using the system. In this menu, there is a registration form to register by the user. Once all the information is filled in completely, the system will send it by pressing the register button. If any of the information filled in is incomplete, then the system will check the form and give a message which field is incomplete, and the system will display the rebooking menu screen again. If the booking is successful, then the system will display a successful booking message screen. Below are the figure 3.2.1 menu interface display. This figure is 3.2.2, which is booking screen display is successful. Here the screen showing that your information is saved. You may log in using your login ID and password. 3.3 is login menu display screen. Login menu, a menu built for use by older users and the administration section. Users who have already booked will need to log in and enter a password they have used before. These are the figure 3.3.1 login interface display. 3.4 is reservation menu display screen. Users can only book after registering. The login ID will be displayed on the right side of the screen where the user has the option to log out. The booking menu display shows the booking form that the user needs to fill out to make a booking. Once all the information is filled in completely, the system will send it by pressing the submit button. If the booking is successful, then the system will display a successful booking message screen. The booking menu display shows the booking form that the user needs to fill in to make a booking. Once all the information is filled in completely, the system will send it by pressing the submit button. If the booking is successful, then the system will display a successful booking message screen. This is figure 3.4.1 reservation model interface display. 3.5 is confirmation menu display screen. Once the user has made a reservation and press the submit button to confirm the booking, another screen will appear to inform all the booking information that the user has made as a venue of number of hours, time, date, purpose of booking, and many more. The purpose is so that the user is sure and valid of the reservation that has been made before sending this data to the database by pressing the submit button. This is the figure 3.5.1 booking confirmation interface display. 3.6 is info menu display screen. The information menu display shows all the information about the lecturer room, laboratories, software available in the laboratories, and all the rules that need to be followed while in the lab. Users can get all the information in this menu. This is the figure 3.6.1 information menu interface display. 3.7 is contact us menu display screen. This menu display is built for users to learn more about the management of laboratories in the Department of Technology, Information and Communication. This is figure 3.7.1 contact us menu interface display. 3.8 is administration menu display screen. The administration menu is a menu specially built for the use of department managers and administrative staffs. Administrator need to log in by entering a password to access the information in the field. Here, only system administrator can see the reservation list and login list. The administration has the right to cancel the booking and can also view the personal information of the user who has booked. This is figure 3.8.1 reservation list interface display. This figure shows This figure is 3.8.2 and shows login list interface display. This figure is 3.8.3 and shows interface display of user personal particulars. Now, my group member Varshini Jagarajan will continue on.
Thank you, Nagasubhashini. Next, individual components. We have four individual components. First, questionnaire. Second, observation. Third, review of records, procedures, and forms. Fourth is interview. Questionnaire. Questionnaire consists of series of standard questions that is presented to specific group of people to obtain their response on the topic and form statistical report based upon the result. For necessities, gathering and fact finding, we select the questionnaires to apply for this system. Questionnaires are among the critical part of pre-request gathering by making requests through questionnaires in basic organized. The respondent must fill out the questionnaire sheet and after that the answers are investigated. It's not time devouring and answers the questions for which they get ready. Advantages: quick and easy to manage. We can gather fast information in short time using questionnaire. Questionnaire method quite cheap. Questionnaire method is not interrupting and bothering in nature. Respondent can freely and comfortably fill them up at his time of comfort. There is no urgency added to it. Disadvantages: individual may return incomplete questionnaire, low response rate because skeptical administration is not done, quality of information gathered is not adequate sometimes, people may fill in wrong information. This is the example questionnaire for our website survey. Summary: the questionnaire was conveyed to all the lecturers and staff in the PO Department of Technology, Information and Communication, and it was effectively gotten. The questionnaires made a difference in us analyze what the genuine issue is, what kind of consistent activities to require within this system, and the highlights to be included within the framework. The surveys too made a difference collect a large sum of information in less time so that the venture can be begun on time. We were able to analyze the data effectively since the address was inquired with a direct purpose. The lecturers and staff were able to fill the shapes exceptionally, effectively, and rapidly. Generally, the effortlessness of the method made the method of collecting, analyzing, and working on the information proficiently. Next, observation. This method gathers information by noticing and observing the people, event, and object. The analyst visits the organization to observe the working of the current system and understands the requirements of this system. Advantages: it is a direct method for gleaning information. It is useful in situations where the authenticity of data collected is in question or when the complexity of certain aspects of the system prevents clear explanation by end users. It produces more accurate and reliable data. It produces all the aspects of documentation that is incomplete and outdated. Disadvantages: a few tasks may or may not be performed similarly. The eyewitness can miss observing certain tasks. It may well be unreasonable in few cases. The representatives of the organization may or may not perform in an unexpected way, whereas being observed. Analysts can one-sided suppositions on what they see and what they basically witnessed. Conduct of the examination strategy. First, who has to be observed? The representatives of the PUO Department of Technology, Information and Communication are subject to observation. Second, what needs to be observed? The problem faced by lecturers and staff to perform the task of reserving and checking laboratories, seminar rooms, and lecture halls which is available, and what problem faced by the admin on managing in receiving, recording, cancelling, and reviewing, reserving, store all the measurements and data, for example, like receiving, recording, cancelling, and reviewing, reserving are imperative components that have to be analyzed. Third, where the observation should be carried out. The observation should be carried out in the PO Department of Technology Information and Communication. Fourth, at what time the observation should be carried out. To idealize results, the observation should be planned during 5 working days in a week. This will study as the representatives can connect with the system in an unexpected way at distinctive times. Summary. Throughout the observation sessions completed on 24th February 2019 at PO Department of Technology, Information and Communication, it was discovered that the vast majority of the work were done manually by the PO lecturers, staff and administrators. The administrator staff recorded every one of the details like lab and room reserving, recording, cancelling and reviewing, reserving and etc. They put away those registers for future reference and at any point should the need arise too difficult to obtain data records. This is because each data needs to be retrieved from the file manually. Manual record search also takes quite a long time because the data update may be from different files. This has tendency to be extremely stressful for the admins as they need to look through the records one by one. Furthermore, manage repetition of the data on daily basis. This expended a considerable measure of time. The approach utilized during the observation was passive. After the observing, inquiries were made from a ready analysis of inquiries. This step was to be taken to guarantee that the admin does not end up being cautious or feel awkward and supposedly altering their way of doing task or behavior. To record the observing checklist and sheets were utilized alongside a stopwatch to access the time required for a specific task. For instance, the time needed to update all data on a day. Next, review of records, procedures, and forms. Review of existing records, procedures, and forms help to seek insight into a system which describes the current system capabilities, its operations, or activities. Advantages. It helps users to gain some knowledge about the organization or operations by themselves before they impose upon others. It helps in documenting current operations within a short span of time as the procedure manuals and forms describe the format and functions of the prison system. It can provide a clear understanding of the transactions that are handled in the organization, identifying input for processing, and evaluating performance. It can help an analyst to understand this system in terms of the operation that must be supported. It describes the problem, its affected parts, and the proposed solution. Disadvantages may give fragmented or wrong data almost prepare for of utilizing the forms. Need a specialist to get to the appropriate source of information. This is how the registration form looks before we fill it up. This is how the registration form look like after we fill up the form. This is class schedule form before we fill out the form. This is the class schedule form after we fill out the form. This is the empty request for personal class form. This is the field request for personal class form. This is the feedback form before we fill up. This is the field feedback form. Next is interview. System analyst collects information from individuals or groups by interviewing. The analyst can be formal, legalistic,
play politics, or be informal, as the success of an interview depends on the skill of analyst as an interviewer. This system analyst conducts a question answer session to acquire basic information about the system. It has standard questions to which the user needs to respond in either closed, which is objective, or open, which is descriptive format. Interview alludes to a one on one discussion, which is done by one individual acting part of the questioner and another individual acts in part of the interviewer. Regularly, the questioner inquires questions and the interviewer reacts to assemble data alternately a particular subject. The interview can be done by confronting to conference assembly or compete for web and phone line. Advantages. This method is frequently the best source of gathering qualitative information. It is useful for those who do not communicate effectively in writing or who may not have the time to complete the questionnaire. Information can easily be validated and cross checked immediately. It can handle complex subjects. It is easy to discover the key problems by seeking opinions. It bridges the gaps in the areas of misunderstanding and minimizes future problems. Disadvantages. Near consideration is required during the interview to maintain a strategic distance from any lost details. The interview can be time expending strategy as the arrangement and conducting of it takes much time. The success of a meeting depends on the interviewer's efficiency. Individual conflicts can take a put during the interview from both the interviewer and interviewee. Interview isn't prescribed to be done alone during the prerequisite gathering as the interviewer and disregard a few questions to inquiry. The interview is troublesome to be repeated for checking the accumulated data. Requirement gathering by interview technique. First, what problems are you facing in the current system? We have several problems in our system as it is manual based system which requires many admins to do and it takes long time to finish the work. Lecturers and staff facing difficulties to perform the task of reserving and checking the availability of laboratories, seminar rooms and lecture halls in the Department of Technology Information and Communication at PUO. Second, who will use this system? All the lecturers, staffs, and admins in the Department of Technology, Information, and Communication at PUO will use this system. Each one of them has different permissions. Third, what does this system need to do? This system needs to be an online based system that allows lecturers and staff to get information about a place that they want to reserve and request for a personal class as well as the admin can update data more easily which can speed up daily work processes, increase productivity and save time. This system must be able to maintain all the data automatically and there is no need to waste time searching for the required information. Fourth, how the user will access your system. The user can access this system by logging PUO website. Fifth, how should the users manage their account? They have to get a password and username from us and then they can access for this system so they can view schedule, update users' personal details, give a feedback and request for a personal class. Sixth, how the data will be stored. The data will be stored in PO database server of Department of Technology Information and Communication. Seventh, what new services will be useful for this system? The new useful service added in our system is all the lecturers and staff in the Department of Technology Information and Communication and PUO can view the list of reserved laboratories, seminar rooms and lecture halls with an apparent time or schedule. Next, let's look into data dictionary. The data dictionary is a structured repository of data about data which is metadata. It is a reference work of metadata. It is one of the main methods for analyzing the data flows and data stores of a system. This is the data dictionary done by me, Varshni Jagarajan. My metric number is 01DDT19F2051. Process. The process name is 1.0 registration. Description is to collect user personal information and register new user. Input data flow is user data and output data flow is registration confirmation. Process description is receive user personal information from user and register user personal data to database. Data store. Name of data store is database. Description of data store. Save user personal data. Input data flow is data and didn't have any output data flow. Data structure name is name, gender, IC number, staff or metric number, password, login ID, contact number, email address, city, postcode, and state. Next, my group member will continue on.
Dictionary is done by me, Jivitra Naglingam, and my metric card number is 01DDT19F2065. The process is name as it appears in DFD is 4.0 login. The description is user will log into the website by entering login ID and password. Input data flow is login data and output data flow is login confirmation. Process description is request user personal data from database and the user personal data will be verified. Next is data store. Name as it appears in a DFD is database. The description is verify user personal data and the input data flow is nothing and output data flow is user login data. Data structure name is login ID and password. Next, my group member Nagasubhashini will continue on.
My name is Nagasubhashini Samasivan and my metric card number is 01DDT19F2042. Process name is 7.0 feedback. Description is user gives feedback about the website. Input data flow gives feedback. Output data flow review feedback. Process description receive all the feedback given by user and send it to administrator to review it. Data flow name is gives feedback. Description is allow user to give feedback. Source is users. Destination is 7.0 feedback. Data structure name is login ID, staff or metric number feedback. Thank you. And that's all from us.